Oh, don't say
Hello?
not. Yep, it's on.
She's still learning. Hey guys, well, welcome. We've been in Fiji the last 2 weeks and it's great to be back here this morning. So I'm Zalia and this
And
is...
I'm Kaylin, Pastor Kaylin actually.
Yeah.
But you'll hear all about that soon.
Actually, I'm going to tell them right now. So Kaylin was with me in Fiji and one day the two of us got, we had to go to Suva, it's like a 2.5-hour drive. And we went to the government offices and met the head of education for Fiji, which was unprepared. And so I was dressed like I was going to the beach.
I was prepared. I was in my Fiji Bulla shirt. I was in
And by
some
that
nice
she means
pants.
her Gracegate shirt.
Oh yes.
And she had nice pants on.
And
even though
nice
it was
pants.
like
Looks
30-something.
beautiful. Yep.
So we were with Saki, the principal of the school, and he had arranged this without us knowing, so that's why I wasn't prepared.
Always be prepared, guys.
He welcomed us into the office and he said that one of us was a pastor, and then he spoke straight to Kaylin the whole time.
Sat there, nodding
She was
my
going,
head.
yes, I agree.
Great
yes.
ideas. And every time you ask me a question, I'd be like, Zalia.
So I was just sitting there being humble, and then he said, so Gracegate sounds like this most amazing place. Can you tell us how long your church has been going for? And I just said, yeah, Caitlin. And I just had this awkward period of time, and she was looking at me like, and then Saki said, the principal said something to him in Fijian, and he stopped looking at her and said, I'm so sorry. And we just burst out laughing.
I was about to roll with it the whole time. I was loving it.
So anyway, she's taking the sermon next week.
Yeah.
Let's give her a
Are
hand.
you ready, guys? Thank you, thank you.
You can address her as Pastor Caitlin from now on.
I'd love that.
Anyway, while we're in Fiji, we weren't just being silly like that. We were right immersed in the culture, and we learned some Fijian words,
We sure did.
which we want to teach you this morning. And Simon's morning, the first one is...
Yandra.
Yeah, so when I say good morning, you can say it back to me, okay? Ready? Good morning.
Yandra.
Yes, yes. There's also, they made us the most amazing food
So
over
good.
there the whole time.
Kitty knows all about those donut balls, don't you?
I'll share that story. That's secret to come. But yeah, they made us really good food. So whenever they served us food, we would reply and say,
Vanaka naka kana.
yeah, it's a tricky one. Do you want to say it one more time?
Vanaka naka kana.
That's it. So when I'm going to be like, thank you for the food, and then you're going to say it back, okay? Ready? Thank you for the food.
Vanaka naka kana.
Yes,
Nice.
and that means that's not just like thanks for the food, that's like thanks so much for the food. So it's like a lot of thanks. And then they just did a whole lot of awesome things for us. So you'd say thanks heaps or thanks very much, and that would be
Vanaka vaka lebu.
yes. So you say thanks heaps, and you can say that. Ready? Thanks heaps.
Vanaka vaka lebu.
Yeah, you guys are great.
Nice.
And then the last one that I want to teach you guys this morning is when you're going or it's nighttime or something's ending, you say this. And Kayla and I were standing on the side of the road one night trying to get reception to post our Gracegate Instagram. Did anyone see those while we were away? Yes, you know that I had to climb on top of a hill to send those every day. So, there
And
you go.
survive weird noises in the bushes.
Yeah, it was right in the big hill. So one night we were out and I was standing on a hill like this. That's where we found the reception. And these people came along and they said goodbye to us. And she just goes, Mille. And I looked at her. Oh, she's talking. And they looked it up. And then I was like, oh, they.
Yeah.
That's what it actually is. So,
I try.
so you guys can share it with us. We can say mode. Ready? Mode. Mode.
Well,
They got
nice.
it. But we wanted to get you guys in the Fiji spirit this morning. So you've learned a little bit of the lingo. But who's keen for a dance?
Got a bullerine.
Everyone. So we're going to invite our team up here, the Fiji team. We need to get you guys to stand up, please. Everyone standing up. Fantastic. Yep. So we're going to teach you some moves and then we're going to put on some music, all right? So get ready to stretch it out. So the first thing is when the music comes on, we'll count you in and then you put your left hand up like this and you go left, left, like you're lassoing something.
Like, woo, right in the
Yeah.
horse or something.
Yeah. Left, left, and then right, right. And then
left,
and then right. And then you roll to
To the left.
And then you roll up to the right. And you roll to the left. And you roll to the right.
And
Got
then
that part?
Yep.
We're going to just go through that part again, and then I'll add the last 2 moves. Pretty simple. So we go
left, right, left, right. Roll to the left,
roll to the right,
roll to the left,
roll to the right. And then we go teapot.
teapot.
Teapot. Yeah. And then we go
Fuller.
and
Fuller.
And we
And turn to
really
the
do that.
side.
Got it? So we go left,
Left,
right,
left,
right.
Roll to the left, roll to the right, roll to the left, roll to the right. Teapot.
And then
Fuller.
And you got to yell that part with
Yeah.
enthusiasm.
Let's.
All right.
Should they practice that bull a bit? I didn't hear anybody.
Okay, you ready? We're going to practice the bull a bit. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Buller. Buller.
Fantastic.
Nice.
I think you guys have upgraded to be ready for music. Let's get into this. All
Are
right.
we facing the back soon?
Yeah, team, we need to turn
We
around.
need to turn around, team.
All right, can we have some music, please? Here we go. Tell me when to count us in.
Left, right. Roll to the left, roll to the right, roll. Teapot. Fuller.
Left,
Right. Left, right. Roll to the left, roll to the right, roll to the left, roll to the right. Teapot. Fuller.
left,
Right. Left, right. Roll to the left, roll to the right, roll to the left, roll to the right. Teapot. Fuller.
Last time,
Left, right. Left, right. Roll to the left,
roll to the right.
roll to the left, roll to the right. Teapot. Fuller. Woo! Good
Yeah.
job, guys.
That was good. All right, take a seat. Good job, guys. Thanks, Steve. Come and take a seat. So we also had Joe, Danica, and Scarlett join us on this trip, and they are in Wellington, so they didn't get to join us this weekend. But you'll see a bit of them in the video. So I'm going to ask these guys a few questions, just so you know a little bit more about the day-to-day lifestyle, what we got up to there, and then we're going to hear from the others as well. So, Kenny, first up, I'm going to ask you a little bit about, well, what do we do with the kids in the morning?
In the mornings, it will be like, what time would it be? Like 8 o'clock. We would start worship with them. They had their own little morning sessions where they do a little devotion, and we were speaking about the body of the body of armor,
The armor
through
of God, yeah.
the armor of God, and Super G-Man will make his appearance now and then, and
Do you want to explain who Super G-Man is and what he look like?
many of you know about the Jawa, the Green Man, the guy that used to be Jamie, sometimes me. I came out of my tent usually for the devotions and in the green suit, and they all called me Super G-Man, and felt that was quite cool. And it's the first time I was in that Super G-Man suit. They put box over me. That was the plate of armor.
Breastplate of righteousness, yeah.
Yeah, and the helmet and of salvation. Yeah.
Yeah, and Kenny was like a big hit with the kids. So all the guys were sleeping in tents on the school field, and in the morning we'd start like our program and breakfast at 6:30 in the morning. So it was an early start always, and you could hear the kids going along, and they'd be like whispering, "Kenny, Super G-Man," and then they'd go along and they'd be like, "Joe, Mark, Liam, John." Go through everyone's from like 6, just checking who's awake to come play with them. So Kenny said it was awesome for the first week, and then the second week taught him a lot of patience. So that was a good thing. But yeah, we got to hang with the kids every single morning at school, and there was about 90 students at the school, and that was preschool and primary age, and it kind of went up to about 12. And so yeah, we got to hang with them for a whole hour every morning, and we'd take turns. We were in 3 different teams, and we'd take turns running the program in the morning. And then the afternoons, Kenny, what did we get up to with the kids?
Every second day we would have like little we'll get into groups, some ages, and I remember I was the first group I was with Liam, and we were doing bull rush, and their version of bull rush was quite intense. Instead of one person in the middle calling people out, they're all like running at each other, and it's quite aggressive, and it was pretty cool to watch, but it was like I was praying that there was be no injuries. But other ones were dog and bone, duck, duck, goose, and it was lovely. Like every day we went down to the river for the first week, and we'd be walking down to the river, and we'll have like a group of kids that will come from one area, and then another group come from another area. All they want to follow us and go for a swim. But then the next week we ended up having swims at lunchtime, and they would all ask us, "Are you going to go for a swim later on?" "Oh, we've already been." And so we always had. I usually got a few evils from a couple of the kids because they really wanted to go for a swim with us in the afternoon. But it was usually before tea, just hang out with them. But every second day, sports and stuff, and volleyball, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it was real cool. And we were lucky enough to have a company donate some soccer goals to us called World Packer. So they're like inflatable soccer goals, and we took them over and donated them to the school, and they loved it. But their vision of soccer was just like swarming the ball in all directions, and then the kids would pick up the goals and charge each other with them. So we're like, oh, it's very interesting. We also played touch rugby, but that turned out to be tackle rugby as well. Very aggressive. So Kenny, what would you say was the best thing about being with the kids? Like, what was your favourite thing?
My favourite thing with the kids would be just there. As you all know, I went to the South Africa trip, and I felt this experience with the Fiji crew and the Fiji kids compared to what the South Africa kids were. These kids will come up to you wanting to talk to you and wanting to hang out with you. I noticed when I was in the South Africa trip, we would have to go to them, but these ones were really interested in us, and they really wanted to know us, and I felt that was cool with these kids. Like they were full of love, full of caring. They really cared for us. They loved the fact that we were there, and wanted to hang out. And just the simple lifestyle that they had, like their way of fun would be without any electricity, and I thought, man, we're missing out over in New Zealand. Because their lifestyle was so simple, and I was quite saddened to see that because I felt we were missing out.
And what would you say the biggest difference of going on the trip? How did it make the biggest difference to you personally? Yeah, like what was the one thing you'd take away, like the best part of your whole trip, something that you'd learnt or how it grew you in some way?
It made me think, and it made me want to get involved with my community more because their community spirit was amazing. You'll walk down the road, and 100% chance that if you walk past someone from that village, they would say hello to you. I noticed when I was being in New Zealand, like there's a very low percentage that you'll probably get a hi from someone. But the way the community was amazing. Like they all knew each other.
Yeah.
I don't know who my neighbours are in Auckland, but over there they know everyone, and that's what I get out of it. I want to be able to get involved with the community more, away from Gracegate, but get to know the neighbours that I have at my house.
Yeah, very cool. That's awesome, Kenny. Thanks for sharing. And Mark, so I'm gonna. Kenny, do you want to give the mic here as well? So, Mark, when we were building and stuff, it wasn't just about with the kids or the building. We also did a lot with our team. So we met every morning. What did we do with our team in the mornings after breakfast or during breakfast?
We had little meetings to discuss what we're going to do during the day, to do team building and boost morale, really, yeah.
Sometimes we'd have a bit of a dance party, do some stretches.
Sure.
And it would also have like a key verse or quote or thought or something that would like challenge the team to think about through the day. So what was one of the things we spoke about that sort of stuck with you?
Mind blank, but Jesus salt Was it? Yeah.
The salt.
The
Yeah,
salt,
yeah.
Yeah.
So we spoke a little bit like the very first day about how salt adds to the flavor and you can bring out the God flavors and God colors. And our challenge was like, how are you going to do that with the kids that day? And then that night we all spoke about like how we saw it. And there were some pretty awesome ways. The kids were loving it. So we also had the Rookie and the Chief Award. Do you want to share what they were and how you got voted or nominated for them?
The Rookie and the Chief Awards were for the, well, obviously the Chief of the day, who shone the most, and who maybe messed up the most.
Yeah.
The one that comes to mind would have to be when Graham said to come here, can you pass me some tomato sauce? So she threw the bottle of tomato sauce at him with the lid off. And his brand new yellow hoodie was covered in red tomato sauce.
I think I got another Rookie Award that I want to share with you guys. So, yeah, like you said, it was someone who messed up and did something silly that day, and we'd all have a good laugh, and we'd nominate a few people, and then we'd vote for it. And then what did they do if they won? What was the thing?
For the Rookie,
Yeah.
they managed to get a beautiful bracelet that if you pushed it, it lit up and sung a song. And so they had to dance for the entirety of the lights flashing.
Yeah. And so you wore it the entire day and night. So you get voted for it that night, and then till the next night, you were the Rookie. And we told the kids, what's it about? So the kids would just come up and push it. And no matter where you were, you just had to do a dance until it stopped. And it lasted for about 30 seconds. And the kids just loved it, and so did we, because you'd have someone up on a ladder, and then you'd just press it, and then they had to just stop and dance with their paintbrush or whatever, and it'd just look awkward and embarrassing. So that was the punishment of the Rookie. But there was one day when Kenny won Rookie Award, and he said it should have been Chief, but I'll let you guys decide. So in the morning, they made amazing breakfasts for us, and one of the things that they often made at the breakfast was these deep-fried donut balls. So they're like about this big, and they were deep-fried. They were delicious. You'd like open them, and they'd still be hot, and you'd put jam and butter in them and whatever. It was delicious. And then we would work until lunchtime. And so this time we're like chipping away at concrete, and it was just like time-consuming and tiring, and like we're going through and we're chipping this concrete of these broken tiles, and then Kenny just sits down and he's just eating something, and we know that none of us have got food. So we're like, dude, what are you eating? And he's like, donut balls. And he's just having a munch on this donut ball. And I'm like, where on earth did he get those from? And he pulls out another one out of his pocket too. And he had these 2 donut balls just stashed in his pockets, not wrapped. He had nothing on them, not in a bag, just straight in his pockets. And there was like concrete all around him and paint, and he just pulls this thing out. And he's like, do you want one? I was like, nah, I'm good, thanks. And then he had these 2 oil stains on his pockets from the donut balls. So there's 2 ball stains on his pockets, and it was hilarious. And then the rest of the team, I'm like, oh, you guys, come see what Kenny's eating. They were like, where'd you get those? Did they bring them down? And I said, nah, tell them where they were. And he's like, what's wrong with that? I'm taking care of myself. I got morning tea. You guys have got nothing. So what do you guys think? Chief or Rookie? Chief. Oh, there we go. Well, we gave him Rookie, so there you go, Kenny. You're a chief at heart. So, Mark, there was also, we would talk about our lows, our high, and our gratitude at night time. How was that like helpful for you, or how did it impact the team?
Yeah, it was pretty good to sit back and just work out what happened during that day, and to be grateful for the things that we do have.
Yeah.
So it was great reflection.
Yeah, it was a really cool thing because you could sort of check in, see how the team were feeling, what their favourite thing was, and as well as have a few laughs at each other. We also always had gratitude. So no matter how hard the day was, it was really cool to hear something that we were grateful for. And so what would you say your favourite thing of the whole trip was, Mark?
I'd like to say the island at the end, our little relaxed day, but just all the gratitude in the kids' faces for all the things we did do, and seeing how much of a difference we did make to their community.
Yeah, that was super cool, and it was really evident. They weren't just like, thanks, and that was it. They were just constantly wearing a smile, loving hanging with us, and it was pretty cool. They were always climbing on Mark at the river and playing some sport and stuff with them. They loved all these guys. So thanks, Mark. And so, John, you were the chief builder every single day. You won the chief award for building. Do you want to share what the building was like when we arrived?
Well,
as I understand it, the team last year had left the building ready for the roof to go on, but and so the trusses had been placed on by the local community and a builder they employed, and also had the iron on. Some of the ceilings were put in, but when we first arrived there, we discovered that the lines of nogs weren't always in a plumb line. They were a bit up and down, and some of them, instead of being at 1200, they might be at 1150 or something, so it didn't catch the edge of the sheet. So it was a little bit frustrating to have to undo some of the stuff what was there and just line things up better and get it more ready for us to actually put the ceiling sheets and things on. Yep.
And so there was this thing called Fiji time. And
Yeah.
how did you learn about that?
Well, Fiji time was another frustration of mine, actually, to tell you the truth. At the end of the second day, I was feeling quite discouraged. I was seeing that our goal to complete the task at hand was not going to eventuate because we had been promised certain materials would be there prior to our arriving. They weren't. They said, never mind, they'll be there this afternoon. That was on Monday morning. Monday afternoon went. They didn't turn up. Tuesday went. Tuesday afternoon went. They still weren't there. I was expressing that I was a bit concerned about this, and we were trying to keep everybody busy, but we actually were short of the paint, we were short of the materials to proceed, and so I had to get a little bit stern and push the fact that we come all this way and we need something. We just need them to pull finger and get the materials there. And so on the Wednesday in the morning, first thing we had the paint arrive. So that was great. We could start and get the undercoat on everything. And I spoke to the plasterers and said, look, that third room isn't plastered. We need that plastered so that later we can get onto that. So we had them working till midnight. We were pushing in all directions to get materials which we need next week. We were starting to hassle them to have those arrive. And so then things started happening. And the team really pulled together on the Wednesday, and they really gave it a big shove, which it was just such a boost that, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to make it. And so, yeah.
And what were we all had set different things that we worked on, but just for these guys, what were the sort of things we did when we were building? Like, what did it include?
Okay, so we had to straighten some of the trusses and the nogs. So I had a team working on that, and we had to paint. We had another team working on that. We had to do the tiling, which was further toward the end. So we set up, everyone had a shot at tiling. We had all these louver windows, like the tile cutter we took over there. We cut, mainly Mark actually, cut 460 panes of glass to fit in all the louver windows with the tile cutter. The tiles, there would have been probably about 600 tiles laid, and so we were busy painting, setting up, trying to do the best we could. Some of the windows weren't plumb, so we had to sort of just manipulate them a little bit with a gentle persuasion and do the best we could in the circumstances. But as we left, the school was looking pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome because last year I was with the team and some of the team are here. We went and we arrived and it was just flat ground, and it had been dug for the foundations, but there was nothing in there, and we had to wheelbarrow so much dirt, so much concrete, lay all the bricks and put in the gaps for the windows and doors, and we kind of left it like that. And then this year we came back, the roof was on, and we put in ceilings, the walls, the tiles, we painted it all, put in on the veranda like a pole along the front of it and all kinds of things. And we had the team up on the roof painting it before it got too hot early one morning, and we had some pretty interesting scaffolding. Do you want to share what that was like?
Well, it wouldn't even come close to what's acceptable over here. We had some old school desks which people stood on just for the low things, and at the end they'd built some scaffolding out of a little bit of 4x2 tacked together with some 6x1s sort of nailed together, which bent a little bit as you walked up them.
Made a ramp.
Made the ramp up into the gable so you could reach the soffit there. So yeah, it was a little bit dodgy, but after the Fijians had been hopping around on it, I thought, well, I'm a bit lighter than them, so yeah, it's okay.
And Mark even made us a ladder to get onto the roof, so that was pretty cool. But it was awesome seeing the building come together, and yeah, there was like a few setbacks or whatever, but everyone learnt a trade pretty much. Either you were a tiler, or you were putting in windows, or you were a professional painter or gap filler by the end. So that was super cool to see. And when we left on the Thursday night, they had an opening ceremony for the 3 buildings. So the classrooms were completely finished when we left. They were empty, but they were going to put all their desks and things into them, and they would have started school in them this Monday just been. So it was super cool. And they put a little plaque on the building. What did that say? Do you want to share about that?
It just mentioned that this building was donated by Gracegate, and I can't actually remember the exact words, but it was showing the appreciation of the donation. And also at the same time they gave us a plaque to bring back home, which says sincere gratitude from the Adventist Primary School, students and the community, 2017. So this is for us to bring home. I'll put this on the table out where we have lunch. Everyone can have a look at it. It's got a photograph of the school, very close to the finished stage at this time, and they were just so thankful.
And last year when we went, so there was the cyclone that had just happened, and we came 3.5 months later after the cyclone, and no one had responded to them with the government or that, because they built the school themselves, so there wasn't going to be any funding coming through. But then because we came and we put in the start of this 3 classrooms, the government said who did this, and they shared about Gracegate and that we're from New Zealand and stuff, and so the government then decided that they would match what we donated and built, and now they're on the other side. While we were there, they're building another 3 classrooms, which means that they'll fit the entire school back into classrooms, and they'll all be out of tents in the next 2 months. So that's a huge blessing, because, you know, all of you guys have chipped in, and we've put in an effort for this 3 classrooms, and God took it a step further and has now blessed them with a whole nother 3 because of what we did. So that was awesome to see, and it's cool the way God works. But yeah, thanks guys, and let's give them a hand. Here we are with one of the school teachers, Pio, and tell us, where are we right now?
We are right now in my classroom. Actually, I'm taking year 3 and 4, and as you can see right behind me, we're starting in 10th, and we are kind of actually waiting that our classroom will be done by the
How long have you been teaching at this school for?
It's only been half a year I've been teaching here since you came last year, and I have enjoyed it here.
What has been the best thing for your students having Gracegate here?
And Gracegate here is an opportunity for them to learn a lot from you guys. They can see new changes around them, their new classroom, they look proud.
Yeah.
So when they are here, they tend to learn a lot from you during the service in the morning, the combined service. They learn a lot about God. Thank you, Gracegate.
Show you what we've been working on last year and this year, so come check it out. Here we go, is outside of the 3 new classrooms, looking good. And in here is one of the classrooms. We have put ceilings on, painted the walls, put windows in, tiled the floor, leveled the floor, looking almost ready to go. Down here we have another one. The team that live here in Fiji started the tiles and they're going to finish them for us in this classroom, but it's exciting, and this is going to be the classroom of the 7 and 8 year olds, so they're super excited. This is the final product, and on Monday there'll be class happening in here, so it's pretty exciting, super cool. And also, if you just have a look here, here is the plaque. They have called this the Gracegate building. So thanks heaps for everyone who's chipped in. And if you look over here, they're starting to set up for the opening ceremony tonight, the celebration, which is happening in just 2 hours. It's gonna be great.
Then you don't need the blessing, guys.
Say hi, Kenny. Hey.
Hi, you've missed a great 2 weeks. We've done excellent work and the people are loving it.
The dance thing.
We'll see you when we get back.
Say hi, Danica.
Hello.
Hey, Scarlett. Hey, yeah? You up. What's that?
So Saki, you want to share how it's been having our group here for the 2 weeks and last year as well?
For your group, the community here, especially the students, we feel that it's a blessing to have it with us. It's been overwhelming and also it's a blessing and inspirational to the students. Everything you did, I think it's a remarkable event in this community.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a blessing for us as well, for sure.
Thank you.
And so, Saki, I want to ask you, how are these classrooms going to make a difference for you, the 3 classrooms?
Oh, you've witnessed, starting from last year, most of our students are under the terrace.
Yeah.
They're having their classes in the terrace. Right now, all the classes are outside. And now you've completed 3 classrooms. And next week, by Monday, the classes, the children, they all look for the new classroom.
Yeah, classroom. How does it make a difference to the kids learning?
To produce quality in, let's say, academic wise, I think this is a big push.
As you guys can see, a lot of amazing things happened while we were over there. I was super blessed to be part of the team that started this project off last year, and so much more blessed to be able to go back this year and finish it. And ever since the moment we drove down, the night we arrived, and just driving into the school again and seeing all the people from the community, and oh man, it just warmed my heart from that first minute, and it didn't leave until we drove out of there. The hospitality, the gratitude from them towards us, like that was just amazing to see. Like they literally carried us on little pedestals the whole time, which like we don't get that here. So that was really, really awesome to experience. Us girls slept in the principal's house on mattresses on the floor. It was a fun experience. And I guess for me, just getting back to the point of coming back to the basics, having cold showers for 2 weeks, having a swim in the river every day to clean yourself, like, I guess it just makes you realize how much we have to be grateful for here back home. I don't think we always take to heart what's been given to us, and just seeing those kids and the people of the community having basically almost nothing, and they're super happy, they're so joyful. Like there's not a day that I can remember that I saw one of those kids not having the biggest smiles on their faces. Like it's ridiculous. I just wake up in the morning and I think, wow, like I complain if I didn't have a full night's sleep, or we complain if we don't have a nice cup of coffee in the morning, and they don't even have all of those things, but they're so, so grateful for the little that they have. And I just think we were talking about it when we were there as well, but you almost think 2 weeks is not enough to make a difference in someone's life or in a community like that. But just seeing how much you can achieve in such a short time, and the long-lasting influence that has on the people there, and I think on our lives as well. Like, and I know it's not going to stop here. Like, it's going to be an ongoing bond that's been formed, and it's like family we've gained. We're all a big family now. Like there was tears when we left. The kids were really, oh man, they were so overwhelmed by it all, and just really, you could see it. Like the day we left, it was really, really hard for each and every one of us to leave those people behind. But we know that we hope that we'll see them again in the future. And I know just seeing from what the government is doing for them now, because of what we started last year, it's just amazing to see, because that just shows you what just a little bit that you put in. You don't even have to be super educated or have all the massive skills, be a qualified builder or anything to go and do these things. You just have to have a willing heart and just step into that calling that God places on you and on your life and on your heart, and just start with small steps. And we can do that back here, back home. We can make a difference every single day wherever we are, just like we went to do it there. You don't have to go overseas to be able to make a difference. I think we just need to start where we are. Take what God has placed in your hand and run with it.
Hi guys, I'm back. Geeking out with my notes, but I'm always prepared. I just want to talk about a little bit how the whole experience and how we changed their lives. Like obviously with the classroom, it's pretty evident. Super cool that they get to stop being outside and actually have like the comfort of being inside of their classroom and their desks and just having a place to call theirs. It's really cool. And then I guess the big thing for me as well was like giving them the reassurance that people out there in the world care. Like we came all the way from New Zealand, like to their little village in Fiji. Didn't even know it existed before we went there, to be honest. And just help them out. And I guess it's cool being like God's will in action. Like they obviously had prayers for someone to help them out, and we were there with our tools, with our paint, with our equipment, like doing what they asked for. Like it's so cool to be a part of. And then also meeting the president of the Christian Fijian Education, calling me Pastor Kaylin, but also like realizing that it's not just about the village and the school. Like we actually touched people all around Fiji as well, like people in Suva talking about our project, saying that it was like a movement that we've started. I was like, whoa, sitting in there with the meeting being like, oh my goodness, I'm part of this big deal. It was awesome to like realize, and yeah, like that our words getting spread out there. So good for you guys as well, being a part of it. It's amazing. And then I've also, like, being in their little community was the best experience. Like, the simple life is definitely the best life. I just like sit on top of the little like bench seat that we had. We had the best signal, but like just sitting on top of the bench seat, like looking over at the valley where their village is in, and like just being at peace, like happy and content with like literally nothing. Like had my like $5 Kmart shorts on and my $3 top, like just loving life, not having hot showers or a comfy bed, and yeah, just being so grateful and so happy. I was like, man, I could totally just move here, like live here forever. And their hospitality was amazing. I know some people have touched on it, but every day, like their ladies would come from the village, like different groups each day, leave their families and their homes to sleep pretty much outside, like just under like an awning, sleep on a bit of tarp with a little blankie, just so they could wake up at 5 o'clock and start cooking food for us. I was like, wow, I'd probably kind of never do that for anyone. Well, I would now. I'm a changed person, but yeah, like at the time I was like, whoa, like, and every day like saying thank you, I felt like it wasn't enough. I was like, I feel like I need to say more, but I just could say thank you like 100 times a day. It was amazing. And then, yeah, and that'd also be like our spider hunters at night. They have massive spiders in Fiji. I am not joking about this big. Just chilling on the walls. And every night they would like clear the bathroom and like the rooms that we were sleeping in, because Danica and Scarlett had a few heart attacks. You would hear them screaming every night. Yeah, and oh, it was just so amazing. I can't talk about that enough. And I'll always be like forever grateful to them. And they've really touched me. And the last thing is just seeing the kids being kids. Like living out in the nature, like throwing pebbles in the river, climbing on trees, jumping into the river, like being so fearless as well. I remember one afternoon we went up this, what I thought was like a massive mountain. Like I was dying out of breath after like 5 minutes of climbing like this steep hill. And the kids were literally like running up and down past me. I was like, oh my God, don't touch me, I'm gonna fall. Like I was freaking out. And then I just had like my Nike slides on, which aren't good walking options if you're walking up the hills. Like going down, I slid down so many times until one of the kids were like, give me your shoes. I was like, okay. And they gave me like this stick, and I was like a real bushman, like walking through the bushes like barefoot while they helped me out. It was amazing. And then one of the kids was just riding his horse like up and down. I was like, what? Like I wouldn't even know what to do with a horse if I saw it. They just like take it out to the river, like bathe their horses, like ride bareback. I was like, how do you hop on? Like I just don't understand. But so cool, so fearless, and like so independent as well. Like these little kids would finish school at, like 5-year-olds would finish school at 12 o'clock, take their bags, just walk home. I'm like, what? Like, it's crazy to me, especially like working with kids. I like work at a daycare out south, and like it's crazy the comparison between them. So cool. I hope that one day when I have children I can like instill that nature is beautiful and like to embrace it and not be all about technology. I gave the kids my phone one afternoon thinking that they would like play games or something. They were so interested in slow motion videos. I have about 100 on my phone. Like they kept taking these slow motion videos of them like running or like jumping. It was so cool, but just like that is the difference. And also like we would be there and the kids would be like, oh my God, there's a car, or oh my God, there's a plane. But all of us would be like, oh my God, a horse, oh my God, chickens. Like the comparison between our lives was like unreal. It was so cool. And I think like the one thing that I would take away and like I'm trying to instill now that I'm back is just like living in the moment. like giving social media a rest, not Netflix and chilling as much, like actually talking to people and being present in conversations is really important. I felt that a lot with my Gracegate family, like how we used to have our like daily talks over every meal and how that was so cool. And now I come home, like, have my smoothie in the car on the way to work, like, so lonely, like, oh my God, can I have them back? Like, but yeah, and then, like, also just not taking things for granted, yeah, and just, like, living in the moment. Like, even mum and dad, like, now at nighttime, I don't just, like, retreat to my room because I'm like, oh, parents, but, like, I, like, go and, like, I'm like, how was your day? Like, tell me all about your life. Like, I need to know. And they're like, at first they like wouldn't respond really to me. I'm like, okay, bye guys. But now they're like getting more used to it. Mum, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's cool. And I guess it's kind of sad that I've only really started doing that and I'm about to leave to London on my big adventure. But that's another thing that it's taught me about like being excited about like new experiences. Like I was kind of anxious going on the Fiji trip, like not really knowing everybody or what I was going to get into, but just having the best time and knowing that like if you have the faith, like everything will work out. So yeah, and thank you, Mum, for the opportunity and introducing me to this awesome bunch of people. Thank you.
So yeah, the things that this Fiji, there it goes, trip taught me. Well, yeah, lots of things really, but mainly I'd narrow it down to simplicity, I suppose, simplicity and love. Yeah, these people were full of spirit and love, and you know, for life, I suppose I'd call it, yeah, for life, and had a vibrancy about them that was really attractive, you know. And I think a big part of that vibrancy was that they weren't seeking material things, you know, or some sort of status. They were just, you know, they were just living in the moment, and the things that helped them, I believe, maintain that was a sense of family, a sense of community, and a sense of God. You know, they really seem to have I don't know. God was sort of an action in their lives rather than just words, if that makes sense. So yeah, I saw that and I felt that, and I tried to take some of that with me. Yeah, because like it's been talked about, without the electricity, etc., they weren't, you know, confined to, you know, a laptop or a cell phone and a PlayStation. You know, they're out and about doing things that kids should be doing, and yeah, I just thought that was, they're onto it. You know, they're onto it like that, and we could take a lot from that, I believe. And yeah, I had a great time with the kids. I developed an alter ego over there. John Cena was who I think they thought I was, and then carried on calling me for the 2 weeks I was there. John Cena's a wrestler, if you don't know, and I don't think I look really anything like him, but they did. I guess we all look similar, being token white people, but so I embraced it fully. I became John Cena, and yeah, no, it was great. Like I'd yell it out constantly, and yeah, want me to chuck them in the air or play games, and just, yeah, you know, muscles. Yeah, they're all about muscles. So yeah, there's a lot of flexing going on for the kids. It was yeah. So coming back here, like Kenny said, you know, nobody calls me John Cena. Nobody. I lost yeah, a lot of that attention, but no, it was funny. It was you know, I was maybe praising it a bit too much. So I could stay on and be some sort of wrestling coach or something, but no. So no, they're very cool people. They just want contact, you know. They just want to, physical contact, very like touch, you know. Just want to be close to you, and I don't know. It just, you could sort of see in their eyes that a purity, you know, that wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't things in life here, I suppose, that distract or prevent me from having a close contact with people, you know, or God, you know. Yeah, distractions. There's lots in this society, I find, but yeah, in theirs it was so simple and down to earth that I think made it a lot easier. So yeah, I'm trying to take some of that simplicity and gratitude, and just not take things for granted, because there's so much that I have that they do not, and opportunities. So I just tried to use what was in my hands, as Zalia talked about, relating it to Moses' staff, and lots of the little sermons or chapters, I can't remember what it's called, but the bits from the Bible that should read in the morning to kind of get us to think about and inspire us for the day. A lot of those really did ring true for me, yeah, and like the God's salt and bringing out the God colours and other people, what I can add, etc., was something I took away, and I felt that, you know, I did have different abilities. You know, I like the little dramas in the morning and getting into those and getting the kids laughing and engaged. It was really fun, you know, and I like playing with them and embracing that, and, you know, in the sports, etc., and just my ability to work hard, you know. I really gave it my best over there to suit up and show up each day and give my best no matter what, because we were there to build a school at the end of the day, not, you know, other things. So I felt good, you know, that God gave me the strength and perseverance to do my best, and that we had an outcome that I think we can all be proud of. So yeah, that's me. Thanks.
I'm still not used to walking in these Zulus. I really enjoyed this trip. It was just such a privilege to serve with this team, and a lot of highlights. I did enjoy calling Liam John Cena. I don't even know much about wrestling, but it was just fun to call him John Cena. And I think the kids, I don't know if they thought he was John Cena, but they realised that he was lying or joking. And then one day at the river, this little girl said to him, "You're not John Cena, you lie." And he's like, "Oh no, I'm not lying, just pretending." And she said, "You didn't lie. You're not lying to me. You're lying to God." So it was just funny because, like, yeah. But it was a good trip. And for me, when I was considering coming on this trip, I sort of had that question in the back of my mind, like, can you make a lasting difference in 2 weeks? And I'm sure it's a very valid question because, you know, 2 weeks, what can you do in that time? But the answer is yes, you can. You can make a lasting difference, and I know you can, because as soon as we got there, kids were always asking about the people that came last year. They remembered you all by name. You know, where's Jamie, where's Lindsay, Rob, and all those guys. So they were asking after you guys. And so I was like, man, like, they remember, like, 1 year on, that makes a difference. And the songs that you taught them the previous year, they were still singing them. So to me, I'm like, wow, like, that's actually making a difference. So for me, I think it comes down to 3 things that really that you can take away that are going to last a lot longer than the 2 weeks that were there. There's 3 things that I think outlast those 2 weeks. And for me, one thing is like the community and the sense of camaraderie that I've built with my team. You know, every day we're working together and eating together. You know, when was the last, I don't know, like eating 3 meals together with my team is awesome. I don't do that at home. You know, we maybe see each other every now and again, but just like the stories that we shared over the dinner table, hearing about, you know, John's previous life. But the community is something that's really that I bring back, and I think that's something that we're going to carry on, is that a sense of camaraderie. And the second thing I think is like that really spoke to me was the singing. And so every day we would have worship with the kids in the morning before school, and they would just sing so passionately and so loudly that it just blew me away. Like seriously, like with everything they had, they would just sing and blow you away. And like the passion for God and for singing and for life is just really infectious. And yeah, the one day we went up, we climbed up the mountain, Kaylin was telling us about, and like the kids were pushing and pulling us and getting us up there. And so we got to the top of this mountain, we all just sat on a rock, and the kids just started bursting into song, like spontaneously. They started singing, and someone got a stick and put like a shirt on a flag and started waving it around. It's just like, those are things that I'll just always remember. But yeah, I think music was a significant part, a significant like gift that I think you guys gave last year. I know you guys taught them a couple of songs like Blessed Be Your Name and How Great Is Our God, and they're still singing that a year on. So to me, I was like, wow, that's cool. That's something that outlasts your trip. And so we made the effort to teach them a few new songs, 2 or 3 different songs, and hopefully they've learnt that and they'll be carrying it on. But yeah, to me, like, that tells me that, hey, you can have a lasting spiritual impact on people in 2 weeks' time. So that was really cool. And I guess the third thing, like the most obvious thing that really, to me, says, hey, we've made a difference, like a long-term difference, is the fact that there's now a school there. Like, there's 3 classrooms there that wouldn't be there if you guys didn't all pitch in, give your time, give your energy and your money to invest in this community. And it really started dawning on me, like the second week I was there, I was like, hey, Gracegate has built this 3 classrooms here that wouldn't be here if we didn't like get together and do it. And like it was really like started to impact, and I was like, wow. And as Zalia mentioned, because Gracegate has took that initiative to do that, the government has stepped in and started to build more classrooms. So just that's what's going to outlast the 2-week trip. The community that we have, the songs that we left them with, and the classrooms that they now have. I took the opportunity to just take a maths class while I was over there, because I like kind of teaching kids, and the kids were like, they're really passionate about learning, like they're really well behaved, they listen, they study, they answer questions, but it was a really challenging environment because we're in tents, like, and it's like you're just exposed to the elements, you know, if the sun's coming in, the rain, the wind or whatever, and like all around these tents is just like this construction site, so there's tools, loud tools, banging of nails, and it's like it was really hard and challenging to teach these kids in that environment. And so I said to Saki, the headmaster, I was like, man, how do you teach in this? He's like, to be honest, I've kind of it's almost impossible to teach like this, and like I just can't wait to get into these classrooms, and that's when we can really like start giving these kids an awesome education. So for me, like those are like, I'm really proud of what we've done, and I think you guys should all be proud of like what you've all done to help make this happen. So thank you everyone for helping make this trip happen.
There we go. Hey, so that's the team, and as I mentioned, 3 weren't there with us but today because they're in Wellington. But we've had an awesome experience, and for me, this is my 3rd mission trip with Gracegate and my 6th one in total in my life. And so I have a heart for serving and a heart for just using people. And in the middle weekend, we spoke about using what's in your hand, and we spoke about Moses and how God used the rod that was in his hand to be able to make a difference. And we spoke about how our team, we had people who had the guitar in their hands, some that had sports gear in their hands, some that had building tools in their hands, and to use whatever they had. And I loved being able to take a team away and to be able to get them to see life from a different viewpoint and experience something. And as you've heard, everyone's taken something different home, and that's an absolute blessing to see. But every trip there's something to learn, and not just about the new culture and the new environment, but there's something to learn about yourself and what you have to offer, and to learn about your priorities in life. And I think that the blessing of being able to be involved in these trips for me is every time I come back home, I sort of reprioritize, you know, what am I putting all my time and effort and energy into? Is it something that God's going to be able to use to make a difference in the future, or am I just sitting wasting what God's given me and what God's blessed me with. And so I think the awesome thing is that everyone who came on the trip, they got to think about their priorities. They got to serve in a way that made such a lasting difference. And it was just, it's awesome to be a part of. But the coolest thing is that it doesn't just happen in Fiji, or it doesn't just happen in South Africa with our previous trips, but it happens right here as well. So we've learned a lot that we can bring back home and put into action. One of the series we did last year is called Love Does, and that's a quote by Bob Goff. And I think it sums up the whole trip, but it also sums up our challenge here in this community as well. It says, love does, and that's it. It's love in action, and all of us, not just the team that went to Fiji, but all of us here in this church and in this community can be putting all of these things into action daily. And there's only one thing you've got to do on your part, and that is just be willing. And it's pretty awesome because it doesn't matter what skills you have, doesn't matter what training or abilities or anything like that. All it matters is that you have a willing heart. And if you have a willing heart, you'll be mind blown with the way God can use you. And He can use you to do the craziest things and make the biggest impact, even if to you think it's nothing that great. So my challenge isn't that now we've heard about this trip and that's cool for the guys that went on it, but my challenge is that you will think this week, as soon as you walk out of these doors, how can you be love does? How can you put love into action everywhere you go? How can you be willing to use whatever's in your hand? And whether you're a parent and it is putting that into action and just showing love and serving your family and your kids, or whether you're a teacher, whether you work in an office, whether you're a construction worker, whatever it is you do, use what's in your